Hi, everyone. So far, I understood 60% of what was presented, so I'm quite happy about it. Every year, the percentage rises. So just about me, I'm Gil Sarig. I'm based here in London, and I think 2019, my daughter Mila, age 2, I got diagnosed with Alexander disease. And I think 2023 with Sarah for the first time in this lovely weekend. And I was inspired, and I'm also, you can see, I'm an engineer. I work in IT for pharma, and I have a company, Bound Stern, that was able to sponsor some of this event. And in 2023, I was really inspired by what I saw here. And because I'm an engineer and I love to solve really big, tough problems, then I started to do something about it. And just before I start, a dear friend, I think Dr. Poulter and Sarah met him in Oxford 2 years ago, passed away this year. The reason why I'm mentioning him here, he was a professor. I think he worked until the last day he could, at the age of 88, woke up in the morning at 5 o'clock, drove to his lab, do the work. And what was nice about it is that we met in a coincidence, and he just talked to me, explained to me about cytokines and peptides, and we discussed a little bit about Alexander disease, and he wrote some papers and said, send me this paper and that paper. And he actually gave me the understanding that there's something that a parent can do, okay? He actually asked me why I'm not a researcher. I said I'm an engineer. And this is basically after working with David Naor, Professor Naor, I became a dad, plus I started to do some research, or at least advocate for research. And this is me very late at night. I'm not upset, I'm just tired. And talking to Thomas and Dr. Messing, you will see them soon. And basically, I'm affiliated to actually 3 organizations, Alex TLC, of course, as a trustee, but Mila's Foundation is a UK-based charity, and basically we're focusing on promoting research and family support for Alexander disease patients in the UK. We are very small, we just started, I actually need to finish the website. And we are collaborating, of course, with Alex TLC and NDXD. Now, NDXD is a US-based charity. It operates globally, and here the idea is to be a single point of contact for specifically for Alexander disease. We have a scientific advisory committee, and I will share with you what we do here in this presentation. So for Mila's Foundation, I think in the recent years, I think my wife went for fundraising ultra ice marathon. We had Sarah hosted in our offices in Bound Stern. At least the logo was in a polo event, and we're starting our fundraising activities here in the UK. The idea is to really raise funds and to promote, and you'll see what we are aiming for. A part of NDXD, there is a board, and I'm a part of the research group, which basically tries to see what kind of research is happening around Alexander disease. We have members very similar to Alex TLC. I wish we were as big, as advanced as Alex TLC, but inspiration is taken from many, many places, and we are dealing with fundraising, patient advocacy, and family support, and also, of course, research. And they say that one picture is worth 1,000 words. So imagine a video edited by Google. So I'm going to show you a video, and it's related to the work that Thomas is doing, and it's a little bit inspirational, I hope. Okay, let's do that.
If you didn't have any, you wouldn't do any of this. Planning a family is one thing, getting pregnant is a whole other situation, so it wasn't an easy journey for us at all. So when we finally got the news, you almost don't want to dare believe it. Max was born in June 2022, and we weren't the youngest anymore when we had him, so we had a fairly established, just the two of us routine, and obviously then it was the three of us. Max was always incredibly friendly. He very quickly started cooing and oohing and eyeing and sort of had a lot of things to say. December, I was going to start my dad leave, but unfortunately, that's, I guess life had some other plans, because that's when when Max had his first seizure. Stephanie woke me up in the middle of the night, 4 a.m, in panic, and was like, Thomas, I think Max has a seizure. And yeah, he clearly looked like he was having a seizure. So we rushed to the hospital. It was full emergency room. They immediately did all kinds of tests. Did he fall? Is it an infection? Is he ill? At which point do you go like, okay, something is absolutely not right. When the genetic test results came back, Max has Alexander disease. I had no idea what Alexander disease was. Typical life expectancy is 5 to 10 years. There's no treatment, there's no cure, there's nothing we can do. And yeah, I fell to the floor. You mean you have all of the emotions. You are angry, it's unfair. What has he done? Like, he's just 7 months old. I mean, I love him so much. And to just accept the fact that, you know, we'll just wait and see and do nothing is, that is not an option. There's always something you can do. The first thing you do is search, like, what is Alexander disease? Because you have no idea. Okay, Alexander disease is caused by a mutation of the GFAP gene, which makes a GFAP protein in astrocytes. And then you're like, okay, what are astrocytes? So you start hearing all of these words, like myelin and oligodendrocytes. Like, I don't even understand the language. When Gemini came out, the really lovely thing is that it can read PDFs. So it can help me analyze and understand scientific papers that are incredibly dense, could be 20, 30 pages of technical language, and I can go, just summarize this for me, please, and help me understand. Then I get a very helpful top-line summary of what this talks about. I think that's where I started to get a bit of a sense of what was going on. I understood, I guess, that there are some parallels between Alexander disease and Alzheimer's. And there's not that many people working on Alexander disease, but there's an entire army of pharmaceutical companies, research scientists, and everyone in between working on trying to fix Alzheimer's. You realize that suddenly there's a bunch of people out there who work on things that they themselves don't know might be really relevant to Alexander disease. So I can literally take all of these papers and I ask Gemini, can you help me understand this paper on Alzheimer's? Thank you. Can you help me summarize this paper about Alexander disease? Can you bring the two things together, please? How is this relevant in that? Oh, okay, this might be relevant. Hey Gemini, can you help me write an email to the author of this paper outlining how their innovation might be relevant in Alexander disease? It's like, sure can. I literally send an email on Friday late afternoon. Monday morning I get an email back from this professor in New York.
That email really caught my attention. I have to admit, we've never heard of Alexander disease before. You know, email came back saying like, I think this could potentially be something that we could test.
And now she is working on Alexander disease. They're literally in the process of arranging the experiments. That is mind-blowing to me. Probably send 1 or 2 of these emails a week. Scientists are mostly responding.
I really thought that I was speaking to another scientist. I'm talking about like someone who has background in artificial intelligence and algorithms. The email, if you read it, it was like your algorithm can be used to identify something that interacts with the molecule that causes Alexander disease and detailed why.
He asked the question, what is Alexander disease? But then he took the answer and started asking why. Why are the astrocytes affected? Or why is there blood-brain barrier breakdown? He started to apply that and say, well, what if we approached it in this way?
The leading scientist in Alexander disease, who I've pestered quite a lot, he said to me, like, there is no chance you have no background in biology. I was like, no, I have absolutely no formal training in biology. Well, said Gemini has been incredibly helpful. I genuinely am not making this up. Alexander disease falls under the category of ultra-rare diseases. There's thousands of rare diseases that you've never heard of, but that still adds up to hundreds of millions of people around the world who are affected by a rare disease, who are being told, so there's nothing much we can do about this. Yes, they are incurable at the moment, but that also means things just haven't been tried. If you're being told they have 0 chance, then every scientist working on a thing that might be relevant increases the odds above zero. But a lot of it is about buying time. If you can slow some of these things down, that gives more time to the scientists who are working on a cure. At the end of the day, Max is still a hilarious, almost 3-year-old little man who, has a little personality and wants to have fun with Dad. So at a very, very, very basic level, we hope for him to, to live. Stephanie and I said we were not going to give up, and we're going to do what we can and what is in our power to do. When we said that, we didn't necessarily think about rallying scientists to help figure things out. And there's probably 5, 6, 7 research groups that have started working on Alexander disease because I sent them an email.
It has made us, take all this new path that we wouldn't have taken otherwise, right? And I think that's why what he did is so important, to actually improve and increase the number of researchers that work on rare diseases, like making them aware that the work they are doing is useful and applicable to other settings.
Thomas has kind of created the blueprint saying, there are people that are willing to work on new problems that may not even realize that their technology can work for that, because we just don't have that bandwidth to see beyond our siloed perspective. They make that connection. By doing that multiple times, we probably will solve problems that otherwise would just go untouched.
And the fact that Thomas is so aggressively pursuing these changes to the field, not even knowing whether it could help Max, it is the most amazing, selfless thing that anybody can ever do.
I don't think we're going to stop. Why would we? We might succeed, we might not succeed, who knows? I mean, it's life, but he deserves a shot. I'm Thomas. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a dad.
Okay. It's very quiet. So, first of all, it's not 6 or 7 research groups, it's 17 now.
Until the world in one,
Yep.
it's 0 to 3 left.
Right. I need to stop this lady. Okay. So I know I have a minute or 2 left, but forgive me. So this is the research team for NDXD. This is the Thomas, of course, the brilliant Thomas. We have Yukari in Japan, myself here, and of course Albe Messing, that is the lead scientist in this area. With Albi, we were able to form a scientific advisory committee, the best of the best. I think some of them are here in the room. And I think what we issued in several months ago is a grant program. I think we were quite surprised by the amount of letter of intent that arrived. We covered, I think, all continents apart from Africa and Antarctica, 10 countries. It spreads quite wide, from computational biology, basic disease mechanism, but also improved diagnostics and models. I think we are now on reviewing the proposals, and I think we will start funding in January 2026. I heard that funding is missing, and there is a big problem. So this is our way to promote the research. And I think if you look at the numbers, it's quite a lot. And I think the charity Milos Foundation, NDXD, is now busy in setting up this founding engine, let's say. Just to show you the impact of initial funding of a charity led by parents, we were a few years back able to give to UMass some starting money. I think it was $150K or $100K. And this became basically an ongoing gene therapy research in UMass with Professor Gao. And basically, I don't know if I don't have time, but it's a really interesting stuff. It's unpublished, but you can see basically that the treatment given in injection in a rat model and a mouse model for Alexander disease stays over time. There is improvement in grip and motor functions. I don't have the video, but we can see improvement in weight and so on. So of course, this is a huge hope for cell and gene therapy. We see it works, of course, only in mouse and rats, but we can just think where does this kind of thing can go. We also started to take patient, register to our newsletter and so on, and we even have a map. So to just know if you're in a country and you have another family that is in research, we were talking about the rarity or the problem of finding other patients, and we have 5 here and 4 there. So we have a good network in the UK and the US, but if you want to use this one, have a look at a little bit of locations. We also have some community voice, and you can see that one of those questions that are flagged is to understand what's going on in clinical trials and in research. So looking at that, we are already promoting a lot of, we call it social media science bites. If you look at our website in Instagram, we are saying, hey, this doctor is now starting to do some research, and this is what it means, and it's kind of simplified for the parents to even understand what's going on. I think it's important. I read it and I learn a lot. So, and of course, a couple of, I think, two big issues is one is we are leading in NDXD patient-focused drug development discussion with the FDA. This is a quite big issue for us. We're able to present our voice as parents to the importance of solving and finding a cure for Alexander disease. And it's going to happen in 5th of December, preparation. This is something that parents have to be involved in that discussion with the regulator. He needs to see that family, that endpoint impact, and not just the commercial and let's say theoretical science only merits for that. So currently around more than 10 labs, not just because of emails, but also a lot because of what Thomas is doing brilliantly, are working with Alexander disease, and that's the outreach that this charity is doing, and I think it's quite impressive. And we are basically working on the whole spectrum, including models and so on. And of course, I think for Mila's Foundation, our objective is to bring as much research as we can for the UK. Okay, so we want to make UK better, stronger, and so on. Just to wrap it up, I would say if there is a message, if the video didn't move you enough, this is a little bit my thoughts. I see that parents are really, this disease is quite frustrating. There's not a lot of cures, and there's not a lot you can do apart from taking care of treatment of symptoms. And I think being involved in research or discussions with you and these kind of weekends in the community really helps to understand there's something you can do, okay? Even if it's a little bit, but it's something that we can do. And we're also motivated, and we want to help our children. And we show with NDXD, it's a model that just shows that you can mobilize, okay? Mobilize as a subgroup of leukodystrophy to just understand really the disease in depth and try to go and find where you can see scientists and researchers and pharma companies. They need a little bit of this link, this nudge, this discussion with the FDA and so on. These all things are helping, and I call it adding oil to the machine. The machine is there, okay? It's just oil so it can run better. And that's why I'm kind of approaching you guys and say, you probably know some parents, and some of them are bit more motivated, less motivated, interested in research, and it doesn't need to be only research. It could be advocacy for patients and so on. Reach out to them, identify them, maybe have a subgroup inside leukodystrophy and have them specializing them, and together we can really work and change and do good things. And that's it. Thank you.